I heard a fascinating case this morning. Did you know that only 1 in 5 widows gets married within 2 years of their husband's death? The woman in my courtroom today divorced her first husband before he died and moved in with her new husband soon thereafter. She told a very unhappy story when she came to see me today.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I have Ms. Goodman here and Mr. Reynolds here. The two of you have been common law married in the state of Texas for some time. You have recently, however, moved out. And I believe you want to resolve some issues with respect to some things that you've acquired. But my understanding is that the move out would be temporary if the common law marriage would become a legal marriage.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, not legal, because common law is legally married, yes, but you want a ring and the paper.
Absolutely.
Mr. Reynolds' response to that is what?
To me, marriage started in the heart. So we're common law married, and if she acts and do her duties before we get married, it will rush the process. I just want to see some of the things that we talked about. Upon dating, we dated over the phone for 8 months. Within these 8 months, we did a letter of expectations. Upon living together, these expectations have not been met. And so I'm just not...
You're not in a position to move the relationship forward because those expectations have not been met.
Exactly.
Forward with the ring part. Now, you're going to get an opportunity, but before you do that, I understand you proposed to her in church.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can see it.
Yes.
I would love to do that.
Oh, no.
These last 2 years of my life, it's been quite a journey. I asked you to be my wife. When you married me, be my wife.
That was sweet. I enjoyed that. I always love a good proposal. When my husband proposed to me, we were arguing. Right. And we fussed, and I said, well, why do you care so much? Well, I bought you a ring already. Right. And that's when I found out we were getting married. But anyway, I want to start with you, Ms. Goodman. Well, no. I want to start with you, Mr. Reynolds.
Okay.
Hey, first of all, I love the idea of the letters of expectations, because I think people get married and they think, ooh, we're in love, we're meant for each other, and then they don't know what they want, and they don't know where they're headed and where they're going. So I thought that was a very good idea. I asked you to bring them. I understand you can't find them, but anyway, why don't you tell me where she has failed?
Well, I asked her, I would like for her to cook for me at least 2 to 3 times a week. I know it can't be done every day because we're both working American, so 2 to 3 times a week, and let it be something that's prepared from the heart. I'm not asking for nothing special, but whatever you do, put your all into it.
Prepared from the heart. Now, how does one do that?
Right.
By putting some thought into it. The meal she put together, she cooked a total of 5 times out of the 8 months that we lived together. And 3 of those meals were repeated. One of them was fish. The fish was so salty, I had high blood pressure immediately.
That is not true.
Ms. Goodman, your response to that.
Okay, well, first of all, that is not true, because he always says, anything you do, do it from the heart.
Right.
Okay, so why does everything with him has to be so deep? It could be when I'm cooking something, okay, if you ask me to cook and I cook it, don't come and tell me how to cook it or what to cook. Like, how do you know it's not from my heart? I'm doing it, so clearly it's from my heart. Like, he knew when he met me that I'm not like a Betty Crocker. I'm not a housewife. I go to school, I work. You know, that's how I was raised.
When I say from the heart, Judge, I mean don't throw something together. If you throw something together, that's not from the heart.
Let me ask you this. Are you getting from the heart confused with well done? Do you see what I'm saying?
Clearly.
I cook from the heart. I really try hard.
That's the whole point.
And I'm a lousy cook. Nobody at my house likes what I cook.
Yeah. Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't. Because if you do it from the heart, then you're going to research it, you're going to practice it,
But it
and you
doesn't take all
will
that.
become good
No,
at
no,
it.
It's
no,
not-
Mr.
it's
Reynolds,
not
let me
rocket
tell you
science.
something. Let me tell you something. There are things that I will never do well. I will never do calculus well. I will never, you know what I mean? I can't play basketball. Just because you're a woman, there's nothing imprinted on that XX DNA that says you will be able to cook.
That's right.
It just doesn't happen. Some
right.
people aren't good at some things.
But I
Some
am
people-
good
and
though.
some
I
people
am
just
good.
don't
Hold
try.
on, can I have? Cause see, this is
Yes,
the
you
problem.
have.
Like he thinks it's okay to interrupt me, but when I interrupt him, he says, "See, now you over talking me. You know, I'm the head. Why are you over talking me?" I'm saying, you know, the last time I checked, you have 2 children and not 3, and so I feel like he doesn't equally respect me.
Give me an example of something you say demonstrates his failure to respect you as an equal partner.
Okay, like for example, when I clean, okay, I'll tell him, okay, well, this is the way that I need to do it. If I go through the whole house and clean, and I'll tell him why I do certain things, his response is, well, I could have done it better. He's like, well, why did you do it like that? Like, if you would just do it the way that I tell you to do it, then it would be perfect. Like his way of right is his way. That's his definition of right.
Mr. Reynolds, does she clean?
She's cooked 5 times in 8 months.
I didn't ask. I'm not talking about cooking anymore. I'm talking about cleaning. Does she clean?
Not on a regular basis.
Not on
Yes,
a regular
I do.
basis.
And not all the way. It's a difference between cleaning and straightening up. If you're
That's
gonna
a
do
story.
it, do it right. Again, do it right. And so I get mad at anything that's halfway done. Don't do it halfway. Either go.
He halfway does it also. And when he doesn't do it, I don't point it out because I don't feel like that's my job to point out the things that he doesn't do right.
Do you expect perfection?
Yes, I do.
And he
To
doesn't
a
give
certain degree.
perfection.
I expect for you to attempt it. We never gonna be perfect, but if you attempt it, then that's gonna make the result satisfaction.
But
Do you
he
have?
doesn't give
Hang on.
perfection.
I don't think that's true, and I'll explain that to you in a little while. But do you have complaints about her weight?
I'm a personal trainer. The only complaints I have about her weight is the fact that she's not comfortable with it. She's not comfortable with it,
true.
so it takes away from her confidence.
Not true.
Let me explain what you wrote here. Teriesha gained 40 pounds, and it's the way she gained that really gets me. She wasn't on a consistent exercise schedule, and the weight went to her stomach. She allowed it to happen. This affects everything. Now, that doesn't sound like a man concerned about a woman's self-esteem. That sounds like a rigid perfectionist idea of what somebody should look like if she did things correctly.
Yeah.
So which is true?
Absolutely.
What you wrote to me here or the nonsense you just made up about you're worried about her feelings about her own body?
Yeah.
Both is true.
If you did it your way, you'd still be here, but you would be getting a divorce because she would be unhappy. Divorce isn't easy. If you need help with your breakup, call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mr. Reynolds, let me ask you a question. Do you love her?
Of course.
Okay. Do you know why she left?
Yes, I do. She left because I didn't move forward with the ceremony.
So you asked her to marry you,
Right.
but you didn't move forward with the ceremony.
Right.
And your contention is that if she would just up her game a bit as a wife, that in fact you would go ahead with the ceremony. Is that
Yes, ma'am.
accurate? List the 5 things she needs to adjust in order to get that ring.
To be less confrontational,
Less confrontational.
to follow my lead,
Follow your lead.
This joke, right?
to cook more.
Cook more.
I would like for us to be spontaneous in the bed.
Spontaneous.
What's that, 4?
That was 4. That was a good 4. I mean, if you don't have 5, that's cool. You straight?
I mean, I go on and on all day, but I'll stop right there.
You see?
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think she should follow your lead?
Come on.
Because I follow the Most High. I follow God, and I believe in divine order.
Okay.
And so it's not like I'm saying follow it because it's my way. I'm saying follow it because it's the right way.
Where did you get that from?
Where did I get that from? From reading and from studying. And to just, you know what I'm saying, make an example. We're here. because she done it her way.
Yeah.
If she would have done it my way, we wouldn't even be here. We'd be on the island somewhere.
See?
Oh, no.
See?
If you did it your way, you'd still be here, but you would be getting a divorce because she would be unhappy. And let me explain something to you. Yeah, no. Nobody wants to live with a drill sergeant or a constant criticizer. Nobody wants, just hang on. You're not listening. Pay attention. No one wants to live with someone who doesn't hear them and doesn't feel that their opinion is worthwhile. I think that, I mean, if you want to get biblical about it, Ephesians 5:22, it does say, wives, submit to your husbands. But after it says that, what does it say?
Come on.
Husband, submit to your wife.
And then after that?
Uh,
I'm listening. You talking about divine order, not me.
oh, okay.
You're very distinct about what the divine order is and what that means. And what I'm telling you, the submission part is dependent on something very deep said after that. And I want to know if you know what it is.
It's
He doesn't. Oh.
love God as you love, I don't know.
You don't know. See, and just say I don't know. That's one thing about being a good leader. A good leader doesn't pretend he knows where he's going when he doesn't. A good leader knows enough to say, hey, I'm confident enough in my own personal self that I could admit to failure, fault, weaknesses, all of that. If you believe yourself perfect, you never improve.
That's right.
And I think that that is part of what her problem is with you. I think you're a decent guy, to tell you the truth. But you're just a little confused about what it is to be a man. Let me tell you what it says in Ephesians after all of that. It says 4 times, love her, love her. They say submit once, but they kept repeating, love her, love her. Then they said, cherish her. Then they say, nourish her. Because all of these 5 verses of demands on you before you get what the submission from her. True leaders don't have to ask anybody to follow. They're going somewhere that that other person wants to be, and she wants to follow you. That's what a true leader is. You got a sense of humor?
A little bit.
Not much, huh? If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Let me ask you this. It seems foolhardy to me to want a ring from a man who you find is controlling and criticizes you too much. How do you think that will change? How do you think the ring will make him any less a drill sergeant?
Well, see, I think overall, he has a lot of good qualities.
He does.
As a man, you know, as a leader for children, you know, a father figure, he has all the good qualities, and I feel like it's worth me being patient, because the good outweighs the bad. I've had worse, so I know when I see a good man.
If you had a request of him that would make you feel better about being in the house with him, what would it be?
Well, I truly believe that in order to lead, you have to know how to follow. And certain things, we have to, well, in all things, we have to work as a team. And it's always just his way. So what would be good for me in order to be together would be for him to want me to be his helpmeet instead of someone who takes commands from him.
Mr. Reynolds, did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like a lot of what she said was true, but it never should be a point where I'm following her. She said a good leader should follow you where?
No, that's not what she said. She said a good leader should know how to follow so he can understand the process of following. She never said follow her.
So my question is, follow who? When you say follow who are you
That's
talking
not what she was saying. You need to understand what it is to follow. First of all, you're supposed to follow God, so that's who
right.
you follow if you're going by the divine order.
That's right.
So if you couldn't figure that part out, woo, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
But that's not what she said. Mr. Reynolds, can I say this to you?
Go ahead, ma'am.
I think you're a good guy. I think you're a smart guy. I think you are a guy that wants the right thing. What I think you're missing is being strong and being a leader and always being right. Leaders are wrong, leaders are weak, and leaders allow for others to grow and become better, even if it's not in that narrow range that you have indicated for them. You with me on that?
I understand.
Do you want to say she can blossom in a bunch of different directions and not just this, you got to cook better, you got to cook, you got to cook, you got to cook. I can't cook, but you should see my bank account.
Come on.
Learned that all by myself. You know what I mean? You get it?
Yeah, I get it.
You got a sense of humor?
A little bit.
Not much, huh? If I were you, hon, before I got married, I'd get a sense of humor. Because you got to know what's funny, and you can't keep score. And you can't be a master of your house. You got to be the man of the house. There's a difference. Masters had slaves. We don't do that anymore.
Come on.
In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page @Divorce Court and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. I like you people. I like you, and I like you. Here's what I would say to you, though, if you were my daughter. I think that one of the biggest mistakes women make is make their lives about get a guy, get a house, get married, and have kids. Because once you make your life that narrow, you have to compromise and compromise and compromise until all of a sudden you have no options. You have nowhere to go. You can't move. You can't shift. You can't go to the side. You don't have any independence and any power. Independence is not a bad thing. It's a wonderful thing. And you ought to have a bigger life, a life that involves passions and interests and opportunities and things that excite you that are unrelated to whether or not you got this guy or not. Does a couple of things for you. Number one, it gives you leverage in a relationship because you're not defined solely by that relationship. It is a big part of you. It is a good part of you, but you can survive without it. And I think people who believe they're with someone who have no other options end up doing whatever they want to do. And it's not because they're bad people, but that's human nature. She can't go nowhere, so I can do what I want. It's not thought logically, but it ends up being that way. He can keep demanding. He can keep demanding. And what happens is, first of all, it's about the cooking isn't good. And then you bought Hunt's ketchup instead of Heinz ketchup. And then it's about the crackers because you don't have any other options. He's in charge, and there is a right and there is a wrong, and there's no breath. There's no opinion. There's no room for opinion. I think if you blossom, he'll see it. He'll love it. He'll understand how to nurture and cherish it. Wow. And then once you got a fully bloomed and blossomed woman, and you are allowing her to be the woman that she can be, you ain't gonna ask her to. You won't need to ask her to submit, because she'll follow you because she likes where you're headed. It's a beautiful thing. Don't get sloppy. Be a whole woman. All of it. Everything that you can do, but it was a brilliant move to move out. Stroke of genius. I'm not going to give anybody anything because I want you to work on being a good couple, because I think there's very little standing in between you and a successful relationship. I really do. I hope you understood what I said, and if you didn't, that's so sad. This matter is adjourned. Calling constant criticism help or instruction doesn't make it so. It's like going outside and kicking your car because it doesn't work. You're injuring the thing you're trying to make better. Call us at 1-877-311-2222.